I remember when I first started off as a full-time entrepreneur and started with real estate specifically, I was really excited and real nervous at the same time. And of course, you kind of tell your friends and your family about this stuff. And, instead of sharing my excitement, the exact opposite happened. They were actually very discouraging and tried to talk me out of it. They pointed out all the different things that could go wrong and strongly suggested I go back to the corporate world. And that was very disheartening, very hurtful to me. And I wish someone would have told me beforehand that might happen. So if you go out on your own, you do this, and you change your life in this way, there's a good chance your friends might actually not support you. And that would have helped, soften the blow a little bit. Has something like that happened to you? I bet you it has. And it's hard to prepare yourself for that, but it's a reality. And if you don't address it, it'll really stop you from changing your life in a real way. The truth is that you will become you're going to become like the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? So you show me the 5 people that you spend time with, and I'll show you what you'll become in 3 years or so, right? So if you have a 9 to 5, if your 5 closest friends have a 9 to 5 job, you're likely going to have a 9 to 5 job as well. If none of your friends have traveled outside the state, well, there's a good chance you won't either. So really closely examine the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And, do they want you to grow? Are they supportive? Do they want you to live your dream, to live a full life? Do they really want what's best for you? Or do they just want to keep you where you're at? So, if the answer is, well, no, they're really not that supportive, they don't really want me to grow, then it may be time to replace them with someone who will help you reach the next level. So I'm not saying you should never talk to these friends again. I mean, I still talk to a childhood friend of mine, and I love him to death. And but he's not going to bring me to the next level, and that's fine. You have to call it what it is. It's a friend, and you love to catch up and exchange stories. But you're not going to derive encouragement or anything, or have him help you achieve your dreams. And you might also discount a little bit about what he says and his feedback that he has for you, and just don't take that too hard as much, right? So I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is I want you to be more intentional about selecting the people that you spend the most time with. So there are really 3 kinds of new friends that you need to surround yourself with. 3 kinds. Number 1, and I'll list them real quick and then I'll go each into detail. But number 1 is like-minded entrepreneurs. That's friend type number 1. Friend number 2 is accountability partners. And friend number 3 are experts. Okay? So if you want to transform your life in any meaningful way, and that includes apartment building investing, whatever real estate strategy you have, weight loss, improve your relationship, whatever it is, you want to transform your life in a real, in an important, significant way that's going to take an effort and require change on your part, you need to surround yourself with those 3 kinds of people. All right? So we're going to go through each one of those so you kind of know who to look for and what the benefit of each type are, and then some ideas about how to go about finding them, okay? So the first one is new friend number 1, like-minded entrepreneurs. So these are people who are on the same path as you are. Okay, so you share similar goals with them. Let's say in apartment building investing, you're going to surround yourself with other people who want that also. So that means you're in a similar stage of the journey, which means that you'll share some of the same doubts, some of the same challenges, setbacks, some of the same goals, some of the same dreams, and that's really important, because the chances are your friends and family right now around you are not in that same stage. So these are people that you want to surround yourself with, and you can find them in a variety of places. Your local real estate meetups is one, or when you go to other real estate networking events. And I also have an online mastermind group as well, which if you have the syndicated deal analyzer, you have access to. And that's a great way to connect with other people who are essentially doing what you're doing, and allows you to interact with them online, exchange ideas, challenges, get your questions answered. So find other like-minded entrepreneurs. Friend number 2 are accountability partners. So studies have shown that only 10% of people who attend a seminar or complete a course actually do anything with it. I mean, it's staggering. That means that 90% of the people go home, quickly lose their excitement, and never do anything with their knowledge. So they spend all this money and time going to a boot camp or seminar and they don't do anything with it. I mean, what's the point of that? Here's a reason for this. And I've come to understand this now. And that's because most people are not natural action takers. I'm not judging them. It's just a reality of life, and I'm observing. All I'm saying is that we all have strengths and weaknesses, and if taking action is a weakness, don't let it stop you, but don't ignore it either. Do something about it. So if that's one area that you struggle with, like basically most people are, you need to address it. And one way, an excellent way to address that is with an accountability partner or a group of accountability partners. So this could be a friend, could be a spouse, or it could be a paid coach. Or you can join or create some kind of mastermind group. So the accountability partner, here's what's important, is that they need to be a good listener, and they should be in a position to challenge you. Okay, so it shouldn't be a meek or someone who's maybe an employee or a subordinate. They need to be able to challenge you. They need to call you out and say, look, you're just being a wuss right now. You need to get over yourself. You need to really do this. They need to be in a position to challenge you. All right, they don't necessarily have to be an expert in the field that you want to get into. They could be, but they don't have to be for this part of it. I mean, again, you have people around you. You have coaches and friends and mentors for specific things in your life. So an accountability partner does not have to be your apartment building investing expert, though they could be. But I'm saying those are the criteria: a good listener, an ability to challenge you. And really what you do with them is you meet with them on a regular basis, whatever the frequency makes sense to you. This could be a weekly phone call or meeting or a monthly, whatever the case may be. But the point is this: you basically review progress made against your last goals, discuss any challenges, and set goals for the next meeting. Okay, and then you repeat the process. So for me, I'm part of a mastermind, and in the mastermind there's one other real estate investor, but the other two aren't, and that's okay. Does not in this particular case. It's an accountability mastermind group. That's really the point of it. And I'll tell you, when I'm about 2 weeks away from this thing, and I'm looking at my calendar, going, oh crap, I gotta report back to these guys about the progress of the 3 goals I told them I would do, and I had to report back to them. I gotta make sure I get them done because I look like an idiot. Who wants that? And you have enough of these calls where you report back that only one of 3 your goals you actually did, or maybe none of them, and it's an uncomfortable situation, and no one wants to be in an uncomfortable situation. So it's a great motivator for me and a lot of other people as well. So this is why an accountability partner is absolutely required to keep you on track. Friend number 3 are experts. Now these are the people around you that actually know your field of interest, right? So if you want to get into flipping houses, the expert is an experienced house flipper. If you want to get into apartment building investing, you want to do your first spiel, your experts are people who have done that and have experience with that, right? So there's within the expert category, there's 3 kinds of experts. One is the subject matter expert, and they're easy to find because those are people who put stuff out there. They have blogs, they have books or podcasts. So look, each time you listen to one of these podcasts, let's say you listen to my podcast. I don't even know you, okay? You're watching this thing, I don't even know you. You watch this video, and you watch all my videos. You listen to my podcast, you listen to all my podcasts. You're spending time with me, okay? I've all of a sudden, I've become your subject matter expert with apartment building investing, okay? And just because I don't know you does not mean that you're spending time with me, that you found a new friend, an expert friend, okay? So listening to podcasts totally qualifies as one of the few people you've added to your network that you're spending a lot of time with. So podcasts are great. YouTube videos, reading blog articles by subject matter experts is awesome. Totally counts, even if I may not even know you or talk to you. All right, so podcasts are a great source for that kind of stuff. So identify the subject matter experts in whatever area of interest that you're trying to get into, and follow everything they publish. The second kind of expert are advisors. These are people who have more experience than you in whatever real estate strategy you're pursuing. They have experience and maybe some success, and they've agreed to meet with you every once in a while, maybe once a quarter, and to support you. And in fact, I suggest that you maybe even create an advisory board of maybe 3 to 5 individuals like that you can draw on. You can also list them on when you're making offers and you're talking about your management team. You can add the bios of these people, and it makes you look more experienced than you are, more credible as you get into, especially if you're a newbie. So these are advisors you can call on occasionally. The drawback of the advisors is that, and these are normally unpaid individuals. These are just people you've met, and they say, I'll meet with you every once in a quarter for lunch. That's fine with me. Now, the drawback of the advisors, at least two things. One is their mission is not to teach you. I mean, they're going to support you because they want to give back maybe a little, but they're not really. Their mission in life is not to teach you, and you need a teacher. Okay, someone you can interact with more frequently and whenever you need that person. And that leads me to the third expert, which is a coach or a mentor. And these kind of people are normally paid. Right? It's very difficult for you to find someone who's going to spend time with you every single week, answer your questions, keep you on track, and that's really where a paid coach comes into play. Because you need to interact with them more frequently and ask specific questions. So the third kind of expert you need is a coach or a mentor. Now, if you talk to anyone who has achieved any level of success in whatever field you're in, I will put money on it that they have had or possibly even still have a coach. Talk to anyone who is not yet successful or still is talking about wanting to be successful, and they don't have a coach. They may have taken seminars, but I can guarantee you they have not had a coach yet. So that's it, really. So having worked with a lot of entrepreneurs who wanted to get into apartment building investing specifically, I have confirmed the statistic that most people have trouble taking action. And I'm frankly on a mission to fight those odds. Okay, so I've come to the conclusion now that what's standing between success and failure is not the lack of knowledge, but the quality of the people you spend the most time with. And it's specifically if you want to really transform your life with real estate or anything else, make sure you surround yourself with like-minded entrepreneurs, number one. Number two, accountability partners. And number three, experts. And those new friends that you are going to spend more and more time with, they're going to encourage you. They're going to encourage you when you don't feel so alone. They're going to hold you accountable to keep you on track and keep taking action, which is what you need to be successful. And number three, they'll support you when you have questions or face challenges. So hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments, what you think. Evaluate your friends and see what changes do you think you need to make. Love to hear from you. Hey there, and thanks so much for sticking around to the end of the video. I'm going to give you 3 things to do in sequence. Let me give you a quick tour of what those 3 things are, and then I'll show you how to do them. Number 1 is to download my free ebook called The 10-Minute Offer. It's all about making offers quickly, accurately, to give you confidence about analyzing deals and making offers. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I put out new videos all the time and I want you to make sure you get them. That's number 2. Number 3 is to watch the next video in line. All right, so I'm going to go give you a chance to do that right now. And when you click on one of these things, a new tab will open up and for the ebook. Okay, so click on the ebook, a new tab will open up. The video will stop playing. You can go back to the video and click on step 2, which is subscribe to the channel. That'll open up a new tab as well. And then 3 is when you click on the last one to watch the next video in line. That'll open up in the current window. All right, I appreciate you guys, and I will catch you in the next video.